Hey guys, Jarek and Mookie here, going to be doing some more Halo 1. This time we're doing some Team Slayer on Battle Creek. You know, I think this is the only level where people legitimately swap between names.
Like, what do you mean?
I think more people actually end up calling it Beaver Creek than Battle Creek.
Yeah, I mistaken the two quite a bit myself. I voted Beaver Creek, hoping that it would be H1, and it was H2.
Yeah,
like,
that has happened to me a lot. And I'm not, you know, I still like it in Halo 2, but I'm not quite as, I don't care for it as much.
It's Halo 2. I mean, you know.
I mean, with battle rifles, I think it plays pretty well, but when you're doing regular Slayer, it honestly just kind of, everyone goes for sniper and rockets, and then you can't do anything. It's frustrating. With Halo 1, at least I can fight back with the pistol, so it's fun.
Yep.
Okay, so this game, one of the people on their team ended up quitting, so it ended up being 3 versus 2. And I normally wouldn't upload it because we were just kind of destroying them the entire game, and it was at times kind of slow, but it's always funny when this happens. So it was obvious that I was kind of making one of them frustrated, because every once in a while you'll be alive for like years, and then someone will kill you, and then he'll run over and do like a quick teabag and run away, and that's how you know that they're mad at you.
Oh yes.
And then you just have to do it back because you know that's going to make him like instantly more mad. Because they're not going to consistently kill you anymore.
There's been cases where I've been up by a lot and I've teabagged just to be like, ha ha ha. I typically
only do it when provoked and someone deserves it, just because it's like, come on, how mature are you?
Of course, of course.
Okay, so probably should immediately move on to the comments, the questions I have gotten in the comments before talking throughout the entire video. Again, to reiterate, if you have questions you want us to answer, leave them down in the comments, and I will answer them in a future video. Or I should say, we. So, I actually got one of the questions. I don't think this is relevant to any question of the video, but I wanted to address it. Someone is asking what happened to Komodo and Raptor, or if they like moved out, or what's happened just because they haven't been in a video in a while. Nothing's happened. Like, literally nothing. They still live here. I think people are assuming, since they didn't show up in the videos recently, that they moved out or something, but they definitely still live in the same house. We're still on good standings. They just haven't been in videos lately because people in the rest of the house typically don't play the same games I do. See, everyone in the rest of the house normally goes more for, like, RPGs and stuff like that. And, man, falling to your death.
Worst thing ever.
It's like you survive the rocket, but you're not going to survive the fall.
Crouching wouldn't have even saved you there. It was too much of a fall.
Okay, hey, I got my stuff back. Plus a rocket launcher, so that's
nice.
good. But yeah, no, typically everyone in the rest of the house doesn't play the same games I do. They're more of an RPG type crowd. I don't really care for RPGs. They play MMOs a lot, and I'm like, ugh. I am really not a fan of MMOs.
MMOs are just like, I see you trying to go for this guy.
And that is some hit detection problems.
I think he may have had OV. OV spawned
possibly.
Right there on the left.
I really don't like how Overshield doesn't really show up in Halo 1. You don't really know what people have Overshield to shooting on.
Yeah, like if you plant more than 3 shots in them and they don't die, odds are they have Overshield.
That or some major lag is going on, one or the other. But yeah, I'm not a fan of MMOs, and the main reason is because I prefer more action-oriented things, and I like things to be more directly attributed to my skill level, not to what gear I have.
Yes.
Or how many hours I have put into a game. Like, I just find that to be lame. I'm sorry to anyone that likes MMOs, that's my personal opinion. If you like it, more power to you. That's, you know, I'm gonna respect your opinion. I'm not gonna be mad at you for playing a different style of game. That's perfectly fine. But typically, I'm a pretty competitive person, and I like being good at a game. And if I don't really directly feel like I can be good at the game, and there's anything I can do to improve, then why am I playing?
Yeah, of course.
That's the reason why I prefer to play Dino D-Day instead of Primal Carnage. Primal Carnage is a really fun game, but that's what it was made for, just to be a really fun game. Whereas Dino D-Day, it definitely feels like, I mean, you've played it a little bit, it feels like it can be a very competitive game very quickly.
Yes.
There's so much thought into the dinosaurs. And all the classes. Like in Primal Carnage, everything just kind of feels like they were figuring things out for just fun things like raptors pouncing, and of course they have balance techniques and stuff like that, but for the most part it's just kind of let's throw together something that's really goofy and gimmicky and kind of see what happens and see what goes on from there. And where they took it from there didn't really extend farther than that. Whereas Dino D-Day went full on, say you have a freaking tiny compy that explodes, but that would be really overpowered if you just gave someone a nuke immediately. So make it take 1 or 2 bullets to kill so you die super quick, and you need to get numerous kills with it before you can actually get a multi-kill with the explosion, which then you commit suicide, obviously. So there's a lot of thought put into it.
Yeah, I feel like Dino D-Day really relies more on raw skill than anything else. It's simplistic but complex at the same time because there's so many features, but they're easy to execute and they're easy to understand.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that. I will say, I can't even say it with a straight face. I was gonna say it feels like the sniper doesn't take as much skill, but it kind of does in a way. It's just that sniping in the game feels so easy to me. And it's not because it's, like, overpowered, but just because mouse aiming is really good in that game. It feels natural. And it's
a Steam game, or a Valve game. Wow.
Yeah, there's no bullet travel. And there's no bullet travel time either. Like, it's instant. So where your sniper is pointing is where all of your bullets are going to go. So you can no-scope someone from across the map, if you know where the middle of your screen is. And going back to Halo here, that annoys me a lot about future Halo games, how the crosshair is so low on the screen, because I know where the middle of my screen is. Oh, and there's where the that's where you can tell he was like, that's where you can tell he's like totally mad because I killed him so many times.
Gotta give it right back to him.
There's so many things I could say to that. Like, it just sounds like a really bad Halo erotic fanfic. When someone teabags, you gotta teabag back.
Oh my god. Right back.
How did we get on this topic? My goodness.
I don't know. Something about teabagging and Dino D-Day and something about fanfic.
No, I was talking about the people in North's house. So I should probably clarify. No, everyone's still living here. For those of you that don't know, I have 4 roommates. I will break it down in the order that they moved in. I am the only person that is born and raised in Portland. The only person native here. Raptor moved in from Maui. He was the first person. Komodo moved in from Los Angeles. He was the second person. Blue Jay moved in from Phoenix, the third person. And then Yoru moved in from well, I was going to say the Seattle area, but technically he moved in from Olympia, which is, I mean, whatever, close enough.
It's all the same place.
And there's a person that teabagged me, so you're going to eat it. I can only imagine how mad that made him. See, if you're going to teabag me, I'm going to do it right back, because I know it's just going to make you infuriated. And see, the thing is, I'm not mad, yet you're mad. I want to watch more Metalocalypse now.
Oh my good lord. See, the thing about teabagging is, like, I seem to unintentionally do it sometimes because I just want to make sure that what I'm hitting is dead. So oftentimes I'll crouch and I'll, like, try to throw people's aims off. And I'll start meleeing when I'm close, and it kind of looks like I'm teabagging. And people get so mad over it. When it's no, I just want to make sure you're dead. Just sit down. Just have a seat.
What's extra funny is when you've already won the game and the game is done, and then you die at the end and they start teabagging then. It's like you lost by like 20 points.
Of course.
That's like, yeah, I'm going to get the last word in whether I lost or not kind of response.
Just ass levels of mad.
People get so mad at video games, and it's
Seriously.
funny. Now, I understand kind of because I'm a really competitive person. I do not like losing at all. But you know, if you're just gonna let yourself keep getting that mad, at a certain point, when do you say, this isn't my day, I'm gonna stop playing and come back later, or just shrug it off and keep playing? Because if you don't do that, you're not gonna do any better to the next game. You're still gonna be mad.
Yep. I've learned to accept defeat, and I've learned to try to learn from my defeats, if that makes sense. Like, the little I've played H1 on MCC, I feel like I've definitely gotten better at map control. Like, moving from power-up to power weapon to power-up again, and timing the power-ups and all of that stuff. It's just started ingraining itself into my memory, which is kind of nice.
I have never really had that issue because I've always played games that really emphasized on you're going to die quickly, so you need to make sure you're in a safe location. So that was never an issue for me. I mean, I always played games like, say, Rainbow Six Vegas, stuff like that, where you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Like, it's guaranteed. If you poke your head out one moment, you're going to die. Another good example of that is Red Orchestra, which I love that game, but you know how absolutely ridiculous that game is when it comes to...
game punishes you so hard.
And I love that, because it doesn't hold your hand, and if you fucked up, you're dead. Like, you fucked up. But I mean, on the other side is it may not be too user-friendly, but I don't want user-friendly in a multiplayer game, really. I want it to be easy to understand how the game works at its base level. I want it to be easy to understand but difficult to master.
Yes.
And that's how games should be. And I'm kind of really getting sick of all of these games where it's like, hey, here, just join and instantly start doing well, as if you're entitled to win, instead of having to learn. And that seems to be the most recent trend, and it's kind of obnoxious.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, part of me laments the days of pre-2000 video games, where everything was just so, like, rough around the edges, but... whatever.
There was so much to learn about older games.
Yes.
I mean, hell, let's take Super Smash Bros. For example. There was so much to learn about Melee. There were all these small tricks to learn. And I'm not even talking about, like, some of the exploits, like wave dashing and stuff like that. Like, there was just a lot of stuff in the game that were really cool small additions that the game didn't really tell you. You just, as you played, you eventually sort of figured it out. You know, you got knowledge from the game because you played the game a lot. And nowadays, it just kind of tells you everything.
Yeah, they've eliminated all of that kind of stuff in the later Smash games, which is sad, really.
They made Smash way too easy, and I'm not even going to rant about this too much because I could go on this for a long time, but some of the interviews with Sakurai, who is the lead development of everything, basically, when it comes to Smash, they're so infuriating. Because one of the things he said was, it may be difficult for Melee enthusiasts to understand, but Melee was just too hard. And I just don't agree. How is it too difficult? What was hard to understand about the game? What's extra frustrating about it is that even if you're not a competitive Smasher, you can play that game casually, like super easily. Like, it does not harm the casual gameplay in any way whatsoever.
It really doesn't. Like,
oh, and the last kill of the game, Needler. And I got an achievement. I don't know what the achievement was for.
Can't put it down.
I do not like how the Xbox One deals with achievements. It takes forever.
And there it is.
It was just completing a lot of multiplayer games, so nothing special.
There you go. 150 games. How do you feel?
You know, I probably should have got them a long time ago if the game worked on launch. So maybe that was an accomplishment. Wow, that's the first. I actually got no assists that game. And 33 kills, but I mean... whatever.
All those kills were yours.
Someone on the other team died 30 times. My goodness, that's bad.